Hi, and welcome to Learning Plan 2 Project Sprint 2 for Business Reporting Requirement and Analytics class for our Northwoods Hotel. Please note that anything that's been updated has been noted either in a red font or otherwise duly noted throughout the presentation. So here's our updated version, our revised version. As you can see, I have learned from Marie that the cost of the queen beds are now $110 each, and the king beds are $120 each. In addition, they are proud to announce that they are actually remodeling the hotel with 5 additional suites that have 2 queen beds with adjoining doors to the living room that has a fold-out coach. Both rooms will have televisions, and the suite per night is $145. In addition, the hotel has a pool and a whirlpool area, as well as a daily continental breakfast. The whirlpool and pool area does not have a lifeguard, which I will show further in the presentation. And there are specific hours for children, which is 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then also adults can join at that time because they need to be supervised by an adult. And then adult hour is from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. In addition, there's the continental breakfast served daily right next to the lobby. Great addition, very easy and convenient to start your day out and cost effective as well. Serving 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right next to the lobby. So with this said, we have added 2 other website pages. The pool and whirlpool tab, as well as the continental breakfast. The business opportunity, the only thing that was revised there was that not only are we rebranding the name or the hotel, but they're also doing a big remodel, like I mentioned, with the suite. So here we have this basically the same overview of the project. The same, customer satisfaction is what we really want to provide, and we want to provide that home away from home feel. So with that said and done, for the most part, everything from the previous presentation has not changed on this overview of the project. And again, you do all have paper copies in front of you. And at the end, there will be a question time where if you have questions about any of the project overview, please feel free to let me know. Again, one of the main points that I needed to enhance or really emphasize was how there are certain fonts and colors that make it easier for the user to view. This can be done. For instance, if somebody's colorblind, they might just see black or white or grays. If somebody cannot see, the font should be able to be increased so that they can be able to read our website. Also, as shown down later in the presentation, I go over the different color issues and why I chose the blues that I chose, or the different color scheme that I did choose, which I will touch on later. And as mentioned, the 2 additions here is the pool and whirlpool page, which will have the hours of operation, guidelines, restrictions, and a picture eventually of the indoor pool area. Unfortunately, at this time, our photographer was away on vacation, so the picture of the pool area is not in this particular slideshow. As well as the continental breakfast area, that will have the hours and locations of the breakfast too. Again, the overview of the project in this aspect has not changed much. So I will not spend much time on it, but again, questions to follow if you need be. Again, same thing here. We've already discussed this in our previous, so therefore I'm not going to go over it in detail. But once again, if you do have questions, feel free to ask at the end of the session. And here are our user stories. I did add a few user stories because we added the whirlpool and the pool and the continental breakfast as well as the suites. So I needed to see from a customer standpoint of view what we needed to do for those three particular things. And as you can see those three right here. Next, we have the use case diagram. And again, I did change colors, and like I said, as I get to later on, I will show you the colors and why I chose the colors that I did. But particularly in this instance, I did change the colors from a gold, which I previously used in the other use case diagram. And it's kind of considered a dirty yellow, or something that's dirty, and something that we don't want the hotel to be associated with. So you don't want to think of a hotel room as being dirty. You want it clean and purity. So for that reason, I went to yellow, which will give it a little bit more visibility. And likewise, I did change the hotel manager down here as well to the yellow to signify that. And this is the database, Sprint 1's database entity relationship diagram. And I just wanted to show that on here I had several items that were bunched up into one category instead of breaking them out into a different class. For instance, here's the new diagram, and you can see that now I have the guest that goes to the guest ID, which was there before, the payment type that goes to the payment ID. The vehicle goes to the vehicle with the model, license number, and then I added, is it checked in? Is checked in. So that is a Boolean, be a yes, no. And that will tell us if they've actually checked in or not. From the reservations, we then will go to the reservation detail. After the team thought about it, we realized that, we needed to know the details specifically of the reservation detail. And originally I had them all under the registration portion. But to break it out makes sense because we want to know the accommodation, the check-in date, check-out date, the room rate, and then again this is linked to the reservation ID as a foreign key, and then we also wanted to link this to the hotel room, so which we did here, which has the name, the room description, and the room number, and then a foreign key of bed type, which will then tie into another class of bed type with type. And then going back to the employer, I had originally set this up with a lot more information than was actually needed. And really just the position ID, which is a foreign key that relates to the position here. And then the full employee first name and last name. The employee ID will relate to the employee ID on the schedule. That will have their work schedule date, shift start time, shift end time, and then a shift ID that's broken out into the specific shift. The report layer for the registration form on the workup in this presentation didn't change much. However, when we go to the live website, you will see that I did make a few different changes. And likewise, for the report layer, for the actual report to give to the manager, we did add the reservation made. So it's the date and time that the reservation was actually made. So we know when they actually did that. The software layer, the activity diagram, for the most part has stayed the same, and it's rather self-explanatory and easy to use. We've tested the website with several different people from different varying experience of websites, and it appears that everything is working well. That isn't to say there won't be some modifications. Now here you have my wireframe from for the home page, as you can see here, and I added in the continental breakfast, as well as I added the pool and whirlpool into as a tab. In the room highlights, the suites tab was added, so once you click on suites, that will bring up the picture of the suite and as well as the room rate. And this is the contact us form. This is just the mock on the on the website itself. It will look a little bit differently, but particularly this is how the form is: first, last name, telephone number, email address, work telephone number, and comments. And the location. We did update the web page to include the map with Northwoods Hotel highlighted, and then on the right here we have an area to get directions to the hotel. And then the whirlpool is the news tab from the last update. Here are the indoor regulation and indoor pool and whirlpool regulations as suggested earlier, and that's easily seen for customers to know exactly what hours the pool is available for them. And then finally we have our reservations tab. Again, on this mock-up, this is how many of the questions asked. In the live mode, there are a few changes. Next, we have our user experience layer, and for the most part, I wanted to touch on the brand visuals, which I've talked about a little bit previously. And that's about the different colors and what they represent. And this came from this website down here. So, for the most part, we've used blue. Blue is a sign of loyalty. It's something that is trustworthy. And that's something that, if you look at a lot of different banks, they'll either use like a blue because it's faith, it's truth, or green, which can be harmony, safe. You feel safe. You think of money. So this is why in my design of the website, I've gone mainly with a lot of blues, some green, and then sometimes I have obviously some black. So there's positive and negatives. You just have to know your clientele. And then as far as the backlog goes, I did have to revise the backlog because of the additional tabs for the pool, whirlpool, and also continental breakfast, as well as the priority. And here was the project tasks that I did with the Microsoft Project Manager. This was the first time using this, which was very interesting. It has a lot of potential, but as you can see, I have created time frames for the individuals of the project task and when things should get done. So, and here is the second page. And I really like that is able to do that. And then in the next bit, I will go over